under finance, I found a company to do online payments for residents, landlords, anybody that want to pay any of their taxes, garbage bills, inspections, any fee we take in the office online. And the fee actually is less than what we currently charge now for our credit card machine. And the credit card transaction is a 2.65% charge. The company will take the money and they will get the fee directly to them, and then they pay us what we charge the customer, and that'll come directly deposited into our account. And then if they can do an electronic check as well, and it's a $1.50 charge. So I'm gonna be, I sent everything over, and it'll be on our website. They can click on a link, and they'll be able to pay anything online. So it's been requested for a long time, especially out-of-state family members that are taking care of their parents here, to landlords out of state, and people that just can't make it to the building. They'd rather pay online. So this is something that Susan's happy about, because she's been wanting to do this because of the COVID, number one, and nobody's in her office, and people want to pay their bill online instead of giving her the credit card number directly to her. They prefer to just do it themselves.
So it's a win-win for you, right?
Yes.
I mean, it cuts down on our paperwork, it cuts down on our time for going upstairs. Just go ahead and set it in. I mean, we can all vote on it if we have to vote on it.
There's no fee. I mean, there's nothing's coming from the borough. This is like if you would go online.
That was what was so good about it.
Yes, if you would go and make your bill, or you pay your bill, you would pay them. They'd tell you the $175 for your garbage bill, and then your 2.65% if you use a credit card.
It's their money.
And they take their fees, and then we get what we charge.
You get your full amount.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So, and we'll just get a new credit card machine and drop in the office, and I'll return PNC's theirs, because it's actually a saving the customer as well. Because we charge customers 3%, plus we pay more on top of that for PNC.
Right.
So we save at least a few dollars.
You lost money with PNC.
No, well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were charging customers 3%, and their merchant fee, plus all the transaction fees that they process, it's costing us money when somebody does a credit card payment. Anybody else have any questions?
How often will they send the money in to us?
It'll be done every couple days. I mean, we actually can void it if need be. If somebody would put in the wrong amount, or if their check does not clear, they let us know in 2 to 3 days if their check doesn't go through, and we can void it.
Okay.
So we have access to all of that. So. Okay, next is the outdoor fire pit ordinance. We discussed it briefly last work session, and I met with Kenny, Patsy, Mike, and Steve got a hold of the ordinance as well, and we had used a sample one that was provided from PSAB, and as well as what other municipalities are going with it as well. And there'll be a permit that we will charge the resident. Kenny, Mike, Patsy would go up and inspect it to make sure that it's safe. And they actually will have to fill out this permit and provide a $10 fee. And if there would be an issue, if the police would get called, the burning would get out of control, get a lot of complaints about it, their permit will be revoked, and they'll have to remove the fire pit. Steve, is there something you wanted to add, whatever you were saying you wanted to change?
No, you know what, there was in section 8, there was, in the draft I had, I think it showed up here, the enforcement section kind of cuts off.
Oh.
So it was just like a typographical thing.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
wasn't sure if it was a substantive thing,
Oh,
but
okay.
it seems to be typographical.
Okay.
But I think this ordinance is, well structured,
Okay.
it's reasonable, it's good for the town.
I wanted to ask about the exception. I mentioned something earlier. There's propane fire, like the fire pits. If that could be in the exception, I had a resident asking about it. Like you have the exception for portable outdoor grills fired by propane, designed for food preparation. If it's just fired by propane only, there's no smoke, no anything. So that could be an exception. That was the only question that I had. Someone asked
On the
about.
first page, under section 1, you put it for propane fired,
Yes.
pits.
For charcoal.
Right, but if you said, it says fired by propane and charcoal, that would come under the same thing. right?
But it just says, that's, I mean, you would just have to say,
He wants to exclude propane from the fire pit. So if it's a propane fueled fire pit, is that what you're saying?
yeah.
Yeah,
Is
it
there
is.
such a thing?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was.
Doesn't have to say.
Yeah, they got a lot
Yeah,
of
it
them
says
now.
portable outdoor grills,
Excluded.
comma, fired by propane or
Propane or
charcoal, and design, I think what that
And
covers
designed for
everything.
food
No,
preparation.
that's
that's-
modifying the
Okay.
grill. So I think if you wanted, if council wanted to pass an ordinance excluding, you know, we would just say fire pit for the purpose of burning materials, not including propane. If council wanted to do that.
Yeah, that's the only question I got from a
Or
resident.
burnable materials?
Burnable materials, they mean like combustibles, like
Those propane,
wood and such.
those propane things are really selling big now.
Yeah, the tables and.
You got Lowe's, they got them all over the place around sale, those are propane ones.
Those are propane.
I would think we should eliminate propane ones, but I can see burning material and stuff.
Yeah.
So Steve, where should I put that under
What I
the?
would do is under the fire pit definition,
Uh-huh.
let's see here, I would say any container used for the purpose of burning materials is authorized herein, saying excluding those fueled by propane
Okay.
Propane or natural gas.
or natural gas.
Only, yeah.
Another question under that too is, what do you do with some of these people that like barbecuing with cherry wood?
I think that's still permissible even under the
If you
old
go, if you go
ordinance.
to the very last page, it says, burning of building material or non-wood or non-wood items are strictly prohibited.
Yeah, that'd be non-wood items.
Yeah,
So
cherry
that'd be cardboard,
So, okay, so cherry wood would be. okay.
cherry wood, right.
Sure, maple and-
Yeah, really, if it's in a grill, it's kind of the exception period.
Yeah.
Yeah, the grills,
It's not gonna be a lot of them,
Yeah.
but I mean, you went about witches, and they're usually self-contained in like a metal container with the west
Yeah,
end,
yeah,
because
right.
all you want is to smoke, you don't want them to burn,
Yeah.
you just want them to smoke. So
Are you okay with this?
I am, yeah. Other than that one typo on section 8, I think it should, the sentence should have a period after 30 days, period. It says and/or, so it looked like there was some other alternative punishment there.
Yeah.
But this is just a standard language for a summary.
Well, doesn't that paper fall under that? When it goes to paper under section 8? I think that's why and/or paper.
I don't
and then
have anything
cardboard.
after
No, we don't have anything after and/or.
What the heck?
Section 9 begins if any clause.
Okay.
Is that the way yours is too, Cindy?
Yeah, just end, you should, section 8 should just end, not to exceed a 30-day period, a day period, and then
Okay.
that and/or just needs taken out.
Okay.
And then 9 starts right up.
Okay, all right, we'll do that. Okay. I'll correct that, and I already advertised in the paper, it should have been in there today, and then we'll put it on for next week.
What was that?
Oh, is it? Okay. Now, the permit, is anything specific, anybody else want anything on the permit that's beside what's listed? Everybody get back, please?
You sat down with Patsy and went over this with the fire department?
Yeah, Patsy, Kenny, Mike, Al, yeah, they all went over it, and I forwarded to Steve as well.
how would we know whether or not the person had it, and did he have to be
We're
explained?
gonna have we're gonna have a spreadsheet in our office, and then Patsy will have a copy of it, I'm gonna give the police department a copy, and then we'll have one upstairs as well, and then if there's any issues, the police, and, you know, if there's something that we're not in, they actually have access to it.
Couldn't we give them a sticker of some sort to put on their fire pit? like
We're gonna
we
give
do
them a
others?
copy of that permit, they
Yeah,
have to
it
keep a
just
copy of
says
that,
here,
because they're signing it.
Issue permit must be kept, shall be kept on the premises.
Yes, so
Yeah.
they'll get a copy of that permit, because there's rules on there that they're signing for, yes. Okay, ready to move on? Okay, we talked, I think back in January or February, Donnie had brought up about the landlord inspection fee for re-inspections. Kind of, it's on the back burner, and Kenny's been doing a lot of inspections right now. And it's been brought to my attention that, you know, are we gonna do something with these fees, because he's just caught going back to re-inspect places, and he wanted to know what should be done. Are we gonna enforce this with applying a fee when he goes back? If it's not up to code from the first inspection, and then if it is done, we're not charging, or?
I was under the impression that when we had our meeting, we said that they'll go and inspect it, and if it fails, it gives them so many days, and they'll go back for a re-inspection. If it fails again, he's gonna charge them the same price as before, but once it's fixed, then it's fixed. And there's no fee after that. Now, unless there's a change, that's the last thing I remember.
Yeah, I seem to remember it was, that's what they
Yeah,
said.
you charge him, he goes back, and it's not,
I remember we talked about it, and we got so far, it's like you said, he has one fee, he finds a violation, he goes back once, and if it's not corrected, then he gets another fee. I think that's the way that should have been
exactly.
put out.
But if it passes, then you don't charge him
Then
the
you don't charge,
same.
if he makes it, you know, if he goes one time and it passes, then there is, that's where it ends. They get one bite of the apple after that, and then after,
If they
that's the way it
comply,
should be
they're
going
gonna
up.
charge, but if it's
Yeah,
not
if he-
fixed, then.
Yeah, if he didn't comply, if he didn't comply, then he is allowed to charge them another fee.
Okay.
Now, with this inspection, let's say they come and inspect and you fail. Are you gonna have a time period?
That's what he
That's
has to
Yeah,
follow.
that's up to Kenny's discretion, as I remember.
Well,
what
He
you
has
said.
to follow.
Yeah, it can't be a discretion, it has to be something.
It's in
that's
writing.
open.
It's in writing.
Yeah, it's in writing.
Yeah,
There's a
there's
code
a
book.
time limit.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
code book in there he follows.
And you're not saying that after the period expires that he can't come back and inspect, but now it's gonna cost you, because after the time period, regardless of whether it passes or not.
That's not the way it was discussed, no.
But we're not, you know, the daytime, the limit wasn't an issue. It
Yeah,
was
the
the
limit.
actual failing of the compliance.
Yeah.
We didn't, that 10-day thing is basically like she said.
Well, I wouldn't
That's
say
what the code
10
book says.
I wouldn't say 10 days, I'd give them like maybe
It
30
depends on what
days.
the violation is.
Right.
It's in the
Yeah.
code book.
There's days, but I don't think we hold them to the exact day.
No,
Because Kenny
yeah.
may be here, not be here, so if it takes him 15 days to get back to inspect,
Yeah.
that's not a
But if he
violation.
goes back and the person doesn't have it done, now what
You
do you do?
you charge him
Well,
again.
it's up to the-
You charge him
If it's
again.
not done, you charge them. If it's done,
Yeah,
you're
this
good.
shouldn't it be up to the person to call and say, I'm ready for re-inspection?
Could be.
No.
Kenny would follow up. He keeps a
You're right,
schedule.
right.
Yeah, he keeps a schedule and he knows when to go back. Yeah. And like I said, depending on what the problem was, if it's a major project, he's gonna have to allot them more time. But, you know, if there's concrete work or if there's something structural, there might be some more time that has to be allotted.
And you just want to leave that up to code enforcement's discretion?
Yes, we would have to follow what the code book says. Required to do. Steve, you just have to do this ordinance over and just
Yeah, we-
revise it?
We just make it a
Okay. Okay, Joe had mentioned
But
last.
before you move on, the last time that we had a meeting, Steve was supposed to get a hold of Mike Foreman. Did you ever get a hold of him?
I did.
Is he coming?
He still has not been approved for travel yet, from my understanding. He said he would let me know when travel restrictions are
We haven't had
Are
any
we
restricted
in
on
order
either.
here?
But we're still looking for the building at the cleaners. You got that one on Thompson Avenue.
not prepared.
There's 3 buildings right downtown that need badly torn down.
Downtown?
Yeah, you got the cleaners,
Well, case cleaner, yeah, we had that one we
you got
discussed.
the one on Thompson Avenue,
Yes,
and then I believe there's one directly across the street on Thompson Avenue.
There's 2 side by side on Thompson too.
Yeah. yeah, Kenny gave me, I have the folders for you tonight too. Kenny had given me all the addresses, I have folders for Steve to take. So,
And has Kenny discussed anything with you, Cindy, about the old cat house, St. Mary's Church?
Nope. Well, he dropped the charges against her because the guy died. The original inspector that was there that day passed away. So when they took her to court, they threw the charges out, but they refiled. Someone else stepped in from the Humane Society, and now they're in the process of refiling the charges against her. So that's nowhere, you can't go anywhere with that.
I saw there's a hearing scheduled, I think, for the end of July.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they're gonna recharge her because the original inspector passed away.
The current owner is now out in California. He's a truck driver. However, the bank took over that property, I met with the bank about 3 weeks ago, they photographed the church. I'm under the impression they're to work with Kenny Jericho, and they've been working with Kenny, and they're gonna tear it down, the bank is.
Well, that's all well and good, but right now, like I said, I don't know what they can and cannot do until these charges are done with. I really don't know where that is with the Humane Society, because this is not Washington County Humane Society, this is the state Humane Society.
National.
So I think that whoever's talking over there should be talking to the court about what's the process they have to go through because of this not being dealt with legally.
I'll call the bank.
I don't know.
I've been in touch with the bank, and they told me they're tearing it down, their expense.
All right, next is the basketball court. Joe had mentioned last meeting about putting one at the Allen Avenue, First and Allen and Cassner, at the old property from the school. And I had gotten some quotes and I also got a diagram of what it would take to put it there. It's 84 by 50 is the standard size for the court. The basketball hoops for commercial grade, and they start at $1,850, and they go down to about $800 a piece. So some of them are on back order. Some of them they are in, they could get them if we would go that route. I spoke with an engineer about the play mat that you're required. There's a specific, when you're putting a new one in, there's some kind of specific, I don't want to say necessarily asphalt, but there's a certain thing you have to do. So it's kind of a requirement. There's like layers that
They
they
have
have to apply.
basketball courts up at the DEC where no balls are gonna go out in the street anywhere. There's no chance of any kid getting hit by a car. Why do we have to have put all this money into a basketball court up there where you have a problem with the traffic?
What makes you think you're gonna have a problem with traffic?
There's cars that go by up there. What's gonna stop the ball when they're playing basketball?
There's no
What's
cars
gonna stop
that go
the
by
ball from
Gilmore
going out the
Avenue?
street?
There's no cars that go by on Gilmore Avenue. You've got the basketball court down there from kids on 15th Street.
You're talking about putting a basketball court on the corner of the First and Allen, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about there's one down
Junior
on
high.
Gilmore Avenue. You've got 2 basketball courts down there. Why can't we put 1 basketball court up there?
Because, well, number one, we don't have that kind of money right now. That's first of all. Second of all, if you got the DEC, why can't we utilize it, put a couple of repairs in that building up there and put a nice basketball court up there? Mayor, didn't you?
Well, basically, could I say something? Basically, I believe the mayor was up there a couple of years ago.
I was just
He
gonna
He was
ask
doing
you.
some things up there.
Right.
We don't have a lot of money. I would rather invest into what we have
Right.
than to put a brand new one up. The money that it's gonna cost us to put a brand new one up, there's 2 hoops up there, 2 full-size courts up there at DEC. There's another one down there at Gilmore. Gilmore, all it needs is basically resurface, paint it, and that. DEC might need a little bit more, but the cost of that wouldn't be nearly as what the cost of putting a new one up. Number 2, we don't even know whether the people living out there would even go for having a basketball court. You know, there's people that live there. Of course, I'll tell you one person I know that wouldn't go for it. That's Mrs. Johns. She complained every day about the gas company's vehicles going back and forth up there. Every day she called down. I'm sure she wouldn't want a basketball court. I want something for the kids. I'm
Seems to me we have
100%.
Michelle Kitchens at the last meeting say she wants a playground up there.
That's Michelle
Oh, I'm
Kitchen.
saying
She's
she
not
lives
the
up
only one that lives up there.
Right.
I'm 100% for the kids, but I'm also 100% of taking care of what you got. We have 2 basketball courts. Maybe down the road when we have more money, we can put one out there if it's feasible and if the people want it. Or we maybe could put it someplace else. I remember when I was young, I used to play down there by Motor Supply. We go down there one day, all the hoops is gone, and they done sold the place to something.
Right. Well,
That used to be a night, it was away from everybody, there was hardly any houses down there, there was a few. But they had a big parking lot, the guys could park their cars because Motor Supply did the care. We come down there one day, The rims have been cut down.
That's the same thing happened at Cascade Park. Same thing happened at Second and Allen, or Kendrick Avenue, the old Allen School playground.
Well,
There was 2 hoop courts
Yeah, I
there.
used to play there too.
There
I
was
was
hoop
right
courts
up
at
the street.
Cascade Park on Third Street. All these basketball courts are now gone.
it sounds like you got a good grip on it. You got the paper here. Maybe we could ask if you guys could put in the article, if they could call in or stop down the meeting, let us know what you think you want up at First Street.
We don't have the money to build.
No,
anything on
it's-
First Street.
it's-
Bill, you can just, why give them the offer?
Exactly.
We don't have the money. We just bought 2
Basically,
big
we don't even-
equipments for the street department.
We don't even know if we could build on there. That school was old, there's a lot, I'm sure there's a lot of slate in there, there's a lot of asbestos, because all they did was tear the building down and cover it over.
Did you want to resurface
That's not
one of
true,
the
Mike.
DEC?
Mike, that is not true.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, that is not true. They tore the building down, they hauled it away. A lot of the stuff went into the gymnasium, I would agree, but 99% of that building was hauled away.
Okay.
Okay, can I just say something real quick here? Up the terrace right now, and it's not exclusively to the terrace, they are building a brand
Brand
new
new.
basketball court.
$80,000.
Well, no, that's $80,000 is where they're at now. Because they dug it up, they ran into drainage problems. I was up there today, they're just filling in the drainage bottom. And I talked to Tony Menendez, who was a very big part of refurbishing that up there. And between Tommy Thompson and Tony, they're gonna try to get an agreement where maybe some of basketball practices can come down here, and maybe let the kids, maybe you'll get interest in basketball, if the kids see the high school kids do some practices. But that's gonna be probably coming in about $150,000 when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I called Dennis Fisher, he explained to me
I
the
thought
problem.
80 was.
But they're at 80.
2 years ago.
That was the original project.
Right.
Yeah.
2 years
They
ago,
made it a
I
problem.
called, 2 years ago, I called Dennis Fisher in Washington. I said, I want you to come to Donora, I want you to come up with product. We walked, I told him there was a drainage problem because over here by the swings, it was nothing but a big swamp. What made me mad was, I was riding through the city of Washington, and as a young man, I used to go up there, and I know where the projects are coming in there off of Bow Street. That place is beautiful. The playground is beautiful. I said, how could your county commissioners forget about us here and put something like that? I said, I want something done. Now, he couldn't do it the next year, he said it wasn't in the budget, so they started it now.
They did.
But they knew there was a drainage problem 2 years ago, because we walked through the whole property there.
Well, whoever the engineer was that did the thing, like I said, right now, I was up there today giving out budgets, and they have big trucks with gravel, and they're trying to lay the pipes and things, but they are currently working on that, and it should be
In
done
fact, me,
sometime this summer.
Dennis Fisher, myself, and Patsy walked through that ground inch by inch by inch.
Well, I'm
The
just
only
giving,
thing that was solid was they had lights up on it.
well, I
But
guess,
the ground was a disaster, you couldn't even have the kids on it.
Hey, getting back to the original thought to finish what I was trying to say before, I think this all came up with First Street, correct me, it's whenever they wanted to do the skate park. That's when it all started? And then the thing was, council said they didn't think they could even build anything there. So now we found out you can. If council doesn't want to build on First Street at all, maybe just say, we're not going to do anything with First Street. And then that way that kind
okay,
of
well,
kills everything.
who said the ground is safe? Because all the years we've never done anything there, there was a reason why nothing was ever done there.
Right.
It has to be tested. We can't do
Okay.
anything till.
Right, okay, so that's all I'm asking, so nobody, who did the testing?
But on top of it, just, if you guys don't want to build anything there, just say it now and stop
Well-
spinning your wheels on it.
Is there a problem with the bar?
Well, this is where the playground came.
Okay,
goes back
I'm just
to
asking
when
a question from what I
I got
heard.
a phone call from a gentleman that was involved whenever he heard about us doing this, and he tried to put a playground in. He said Chubbs came in and they said it's gonna compromise their liquor license, because you can't put
I
a
don't
playground within so many feet.
And he is correct there.
I don't think-
250, no, that's correct, 250 feet. But where I suggested it goes, and if it's dead, it's dead, I'm just explaining.
Yeah.
If it goes at First and Allen, from First Street to Bradford, on Allen Avenue side, it's greater than 250 feet. And where that part is at that we're suggesting, the school wasn't on it. The school was further back. And if it's dead, it's dead. I agree with the mayor.
Yeah, that's one of those things, I think everyone's looking at it saying, what can we put there? If you don't want to put anything there, say that. and
Not that
stop
we don't
spending
want
your
to,
will.
I just don't think we can afford to.
Right now, we can't afford
Well,
it.
that's what I mean, if you can't afford it, not just say it and then stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Then just concentrate on EDC or something else you guys want to do. Courts up there, I've redid those courts 2-3 times up there. It definitely needs resurfaced. I go up there with a weed whacker and I'm just, the cracks are about that wide and repainted the poles a couple times, that kind of stuff. But if you guys wanted to invest in a basketball court and redo that one, it definitely needs resurfaced. Other than that, you could probably salvage the hoops.
Makes more sense to redo something that we have rather than put all the money into building a brand new one.
Yeah, if I was you guys, I'd just put it out there that we're not prepared to do anything on First Street, and let it die before someone else comes forward to say they want a dirt bike track or something. Because every time it comes up, it seems like we waste 2-3 meetings saying we can or can't.
Okay, next thing on here is, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, I'm done.
Okay. The park benches, I got a call from a family that their father has a bench up there, it needs replaced. So they wanted to see what the borough would permit them to do. Most families do buy their own. There was an agreement when the original ones were put in years ago, and it was like a one-time replacement. But this one here, we had an order last year, and Janie was a big part of that. And Marcia had got me all the paperwork, and they bought their own benches, and they were the ones that are made with the plastic, and they would never need replaced. So instead of going with the wood, so I just, if council, they would mention, does the street department have to do it? Or should the owner, or whoever puts the bench in, should they be responsible for putting it in? Do we want to get involved? Other families take care of their own. The street department has nothing to do with it.
There are 2 benches up there being replaced.
Right.
They're broken.
This is the families that are contacting me. It's actually the one, they want to add a name on the bench. So they wanted to see what is permissible, if they can go on the property.
I thought you just said one, that's why.
The family is one, but there's another one too, but like I said, I don't know what council wants to do. Is let the families do it and maintain it and put it together, or should the street department get involved? Does that make us liable, Steve, if,
It could if you take ownership and installation.
yes.
Steve, is it something that council should think about giving them options so we don't have 22 different kinds of benches up there?
Yeah, I think so too.
Well,
Aesthetically,
And leave out aesthetically,
We have,
for safety reasons.
well, I mean, practically, you have different designs installed differently.
Right.
we bought 4 benches last year, because they were donated by council. But we bought 4 benches, and we figured that once the people saw those benches and how nice they are, in fact, that they are guaranteed, lifetime guaranteed, that they would be willing to go with us. We just showed them a couple of pictures like that, and let all the benches, this is what you have to pick from. That's
Select from those.
right.
Well, Terry said that the company builds them, installs them.
Well, no, the owners would purchase, whoever would,
Right,
say you
they
want to
want
buy a bench.
installation.
I have the company name that
Okay,
we
you have
used
the
before
company
for
name,
last
they
year.
will use
I
it.
can
Okay.
give them this information. They're around $397. So,
That's
and
the
like I
bench
said,
itself, and then they have an installation fee where the company would come out and
yeah,
install it
that's an
also.
option. But they wanted to know if the street department had to put them in. So we want to make the street
But
department
if another
responsible
company,
for that.
isn't it their liability to install? Would it be their insurance that covers
If they-
them
if
if
the
they're
family
doing
wanna
the
pay for it.
installation?
Mhm.
Just like if you hire somebody to do anything, it's on them to
Right.
cover their own. Is that right, Steve? If they would cover their own? Well, I think we should give them that option and we're out of the bench business.
Right, you just stay out of it completely.
Right.
Although either that or maybe decide where they're gonna be. I mean, we can't just let them put benches wherever they wanna put them.
Well, as far as that goes, a lot of the benches that are up there, those families are gone, or they're not gonna come back and
Yeah.
replace their family bench. That's gonna come to the point where it's gonna be
It'll be
broken,
left
and we're just gonna have to remove it, because no one else is here to maintain it or replace it.
So I'm gonna call them and I'll tell them next Monday that they can purchase the bench, and they're responsible for assembling it and maintaining it.
And I would say, just like what you guys just said, if they want it in a certain location, because I know a lot of people wanted it at a certain place for whatever.
Well, these are replacing the ones they already have.
Right, but in the future, just saying,
If they
that
would have one.
they're also in charge of putting the cement flag, cement pad
Okay,
down.
gotcha. Okay.
Terry, you also have to take into consideration the cement pad that these are, the poured on. If they're going to have this kind, they have to be cemented into the ground. So there has to be some, a pad.
Okay.
That's what the mayor just said.
Yeah. Okay. All right, next, Chantel Bay had given us, at the last meeting, she had spoke to the crowd regarding her summer food program, and she had provided flyer, and she had Donora Park listed on there, and she had sent in a letter requesting use of Donora Park on July 19th for a bike rally from 12 to 3, and she'd like to use Donora Park again on August 5th for Olympic Games, and then August 13th for Carnival Games.
Not to interrupt you, Gary, but let me ask something. When someone wants to use Donner Park, is there a charge?
No.
We have never had a fee.
We've never.
No, then
No.
let me ask you this. Who handles the insurance on Donner Park? Should one of those kids get into an accident?
Well, this is where anybody that uses it, and then in the past has to give us a
Has to get a
certificate of
liability.
liability
Right.
insurance.
Right.
And I emailed Chantel for that.
So Chantel has to provide insurance
She
if one
does.
of these kids get injured.
That is
Yeah.
correct. It's their own
Yeah, if any
insurance
community,
policy.
if any person wanted to use Donner Park, like a church group or a picnic thing, the people supporting that event have to bring that liability.
That's fine, I'm just curious about the insurance. I don't think that the borough should be liable if one of those kids got injured.
That is correct. She had given me just a basic page from her insurance policy that I need the actual certificate, and I emailed back on Monday, and I have not heard from her since.
After you get the insurance policy from her, can you turn it over to our solicitor and get his opinion on the insurance?
Absolutely,
This way it doesn't harm us in any way.
absolutely.
Not to mention, right now, we don't know
It was COVID.
what's gonna happen next week with
Right.
COVID. So this is one of those things. where-
Tentative, right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, she also made the statement that she did not know that she had to ask for permission to use Donner Park. And I just want to make it plain, if anybody wants to use the park, they can, but they have to ask permission first. The borough has to know ahead of time.
As a big group, you mean like that?
Right.
Anyone can go play anytime they want, but if
Oh,
you're
yeah,
gonna have a
but I'm
big
talking
gathering,
about
you
if
really-
You're having an
take
event.
over the whole park.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know about getting into a big gathering right there, right now.
Okay, I will wait to hear from her, and I'll hear from her, I'll let everybody know when she reviews her insurance certificate. The next on the agenda is the ball field use agreement. There's been talk about we should be providing some kind of agreement to the football association, baseball, soccer, whoever uses our fields. And I had come up with this agreement after doing some research. Steve had looked over it as well, and council needs to decide what type of fee they would like to charge the organizations for use of the field. It would make them liable for everything, and this is the same situation. They would have to provide us with an insurance certificate, naming the borough. So it basically frees us from any type of injury lawsuits, anything.
When we're talking about giving them use of the field, what about the use of the
Concession stand?
what do you call it?
Concession stand?
The concession stands, I get it.
Who do we give that to? We gave it to football and
Football and soccer.
Right, with the mess that they left back there last year, the year before, they need to have to pay for extra for that in addition to renting the field.
Why can't we do the same thing as you do with the pavilions up there? You charge them X number of dollars. If they clean the place up, they get so much back. If they don't, and we keep the entire event. For example, I don't know what you charge for the rental of the field.
We know.
Concession
We
stand.
never
No,
did.
this is the problem, we don't. We're
This
just
is why we're
starting.
getting everything together.
So
We
in other
never
words, we're
did.
giving it to them for free?
Yes.
They got everything for free,
Yes,
all those years.
Right.
yes.
No wonder we don't have money to do good things.
Well, they're gonna have to, maybe that's not rental, they're gonna have to pay a fee.
It's an, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
permit fee, yeah.
So permit fee to soccer, a permit fee to football, and then, I guess the use of the concession stand, they're gonna have to kick up something for water and electric. That's all there is to
Yeah,
it.
we got $600 sewage bill last year in
Well,
Yeah.
you
October.
know, again, when you rent the pavilions up there, you pay what, $250?
$200.
If you clean it, you get your.
No, you don't get anything back. We don't do anything.
We don't
on
recharge
return.
Even if you clean the place?
No, nobody cleans it, the borough cleans it,
Right.
because they have to come get the garbage.
Well, then charge them X number of dollars and let the borough clean the concession stand too then.
Well, we have to, because.
Yeah, now it's become, if I remember right, last time I was in there, there was coolers and all kinds of stuff plugged in.
Yeah, there's
Well,
always,
there was
24 hours a
food.
day.
there's
There was
freezers,
food
coolers.
dried out.
Yep, yep.
That the
So
borough-
they
And we're
find
paying,
it
and we're paying
from-
electricity.
We pay all the utilities.
Right. So this has to stop.
How long has this been going on?
Years.
10 years,
Years.
ever since they closed out DEC, and they shut the football field down.
And nobody's attempted to stop that?
Well, I wasn't involved in that organization by then, I had left.
Yeah, that's why I said this was fine, we did this, and council, we're gonna come up with a fee that we wanna, I don't see any sports happening this year because of the COVID, but at least we're ready for spring of next year.
What seems to be a fair fee, do we look into any other
Did anybody
places?
compare it to
Some
somebody
other
else?
places I looked at, some are $200, some
For the
have been.
year?
For the season, like
The
for
season.
spring and then fall, and some do field rentals, they can charge for the field, and it ranged anywhere from $150 to $250, it just depends.
The only ones that use that field up there, is that just soccer?
Football and soccer.
There's-
Football uses
Ringgold,
it?
it's Ringgold, to be exact.
It's our
It's Ringgold uses
It's our
football.
kids using the field.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
It's our kids using the field.
Not
I can
necessarily.
understand that, but
There's a vintage baseball team that uses them on Sundays, that uses the baseball field. And then there's also an adult soccer from Pittsburgh, it's a league, that they use the field in the back of the soccer field on Sundays. So there's quite a few people up there that use it.
and what do you say is an average price everywhere that you check?
Between $150 and $275.
Do you want to look at it and see like what cost we have involved with it? As far as electricity and that kind of stuff, clean up, if it's 2 hours to clean it up, if it's whatever, kind of take all that into account, we can set our own price. The other places, they're doing 100, 150 for the season.
Wasn't it Ringgold that did not give them, they gave them the field to use down there, but they would not let them use the,
Concession, yeah, they don't allow them to use
concession
it, right, they have to set up
Right,
a
right.
temporary one.
They do what?
You require,
They don't let them in the concession stand
Not
anymore.
at the
not
high
the
school,
stadium.
No football.
not for the
They make
the
them
youth
set up
teams.
They
in
make
front.
them set
The
up.
youth team has to set up their
Yeah.
tables up front.
Oh, okay, well, now it's involved,
I mean,
we got to use
they-
the concession stand, so.
They actually left all kinds of equipment for cooking and everything back there, just walked away from it.
That was at soccer, when soccer dissolved. Okay,
Right.
see, when Donora
Right.
soccer went down, Donora soccer people just walked away and left it. That's when Ringgold soccer came up to us and said, hey, when we start practicing at your field.
And
So
that's
they
when-
used Donora, soccer was over.
And that's the ones that wanted us to redo the field.
Yeah, they want us to redo, yeah, well, that's everything.
I don't
So I would
live
think,
anywhere,
come
I'm
up with
sorry.
a fee.
I mean, you want to say
I don't
$100?
think anywhere around here that would feel
Not like you have.
comparable to Palmer Park.
Right.
My own personal opinion,
It's a nice concession stand.
Plus the seating next to it, and the bathroom, they use the
my personal
bathroom.
opinion is we charge them $200 for the season. And if they're gonna use a concession stand, we should tack on an additional charge,
Right.
particularly if they're using the borough's electricity and the borough's
Sure
water.
they are.
Then I say $200, unless somebody wants to go higher or lower, that's just my suggestion.
I don't care what.
I
fee
would
you
go
get.
$200 for the use of the field, and if they want the concession stand, I would tack on an extra $100 for the concession stand.
Yeah,
And that's not for the use of the season. That's, if they come up here and they want to use the concession stand today, they pay $100.
Well, see, they use it for practice and games, because they opened up to provide the kids Gatorade and that.
That's
so-
fine, but I was just under the impression if they only use the field itself, they don't use the concession stand.
No, they use it every
Football.
time.
They use
Football
everything.
uses
They
both.
use everything.
Okay, so for the soccer, you charge them $200 for the use of the field. If they want the concession stand in addition to the field, you tap on that extra $100 to them. Football, they use the field and the concession stand, is that what you're telling me?
All
So
of
you tell them $300. That's for the whole season. Now, that's my opinion. Somebody else wants to
I
go
don't have a
lower or
problem with
higher.
that, because here's what I'm saying. A lot of the Donora kids play out there, and they really do. But the majority of these kids are from Monongahela.
Right, right.
So I don't have a problem with you getting money off of them.
Well, I'm not opposed to whether it's Donora or Monongahela, because I believe that the kids should have someplace to go. I just don't think that the borough should put the bill.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable for the cost we incur.
I don't care if kids come from Zelienople, you've got this Pittsburgh soccer team come there, that's immaterial. It's a place to play, and it's a nice place to play, and our borough crew keeps that grass cut beautifully. But if they're gonna continue to use our facilities, again, that's my suggestion. You people do what you want to do. My
We'll see how the
suggestion is
season goes.
$200 for the season, $100 for the concession stand. For the football, it's $300 with the concession stand.
There you go.
Everybody seem fair with that? Mike, you good?
While we're under Palmer Park, I got something else I want to talk about.
Okay.
I'm sure everybody is aware that Captain Sue from the Salvation Army has been coming here for the last several weeks, every Thursday. She's been giving out 50 meals every Thursday. She continues to come. She's going to continue to come. And come August, she's going to donate a very large, ample amount of food to the Youth and Teen Center over here. It was requested of her, and she's going to provide it. Captain Sue would like to put on a walkathon at Palmer Park. She suggested to me that she would like to do it Labor Day weekend. So I called up the borough office and asked to reserve the park for September the 5th and September the 6th. However, Captain Sue had called me back and told me that between Washington County and parts of Allegheny County, and most of the Washington County is going to be involved in this, September, Labor Day weekend is not enough time to get as many people as she can. She would like to have the entire park for October the 10th. My personal opinion, as much as she's done for our families here in Donora, I think we ought to give Captain Sue Palmer Park for October the 10th, 2020. She's going to have a large crowd there. It could possibly be a money maker, both for the Salvation Army and perhaps maybe people passing through Donora. But at any rate, I would like to see Captain Sue from the Salvation Army get Palmer Park on October the 10th. Again, it's for a big walkathon to raise money for the Salvation Army, and that money goes towards food and other things of that nature. She's been a big asset to Donora. She's going to continue to be an asset to Donora. I think we should give her a park. Does anybody else got another opinion?
I would say, I'm in agreement, she's done a lot of things, and I have no problem giving her a part, but we don't know where this pandemic goes.
Oh, that could all be
That's a gimmick. She understands that as well. That's a gimmick.
And even if it doesn't go anywhere, you still have a limit to the number of people that you can have.
I think this all revolves around if she can do it.
Exactly.
I think the question is,
And she
can
understands.
plan or not
Yeah,
plan.
she understands.
Because right now, Allegheny County shutting down everything
And
this week.
that's
Next
in
week.
total agreement. I think what she's looking for is the permission to start organizing this thing.
And if you
If she can get the park for free, she'd like to organize it. She'd like to get it going. I'm gonna tell you something else too, that she's looking to buy a home here in Donora. And she's looking. I don't see any reason why we can't take care of this.
So it has always been council's, we've always favored helping people, especially those that help us. We're not gonna hit people over the head.
Right.
She's done a lot, especially during this time of crisis. We're gonna do everything that we can for this one.
So can I notify her? Can we notify her and let her know that the park is hers on October the 10th?
Under the
Provided
stipulation.
provided the
I'll
COVID-19?
give her a letter. When I send her the other one, I'll supply her a letter.
It's the same as if someone rented the park right now. If it gets shut down, it's shut down.
Pending, the situation.
Thank you.
Okay, next thing on here is Pastor Sean Davis, you wanted to use Donner Park for a prayer service. He canceled the original date, it was either May or beginning of June due to COVID. He had sent me an email early this week, and he'd like to use it on Saturday, August 15th. I don't know, since our cases are going up, if he's going to end up canceling this, but he'd like to ask permission to use it again.
This is the same thing you kind of discussed about Chantel, where you have to provide stuff.
Well, he's on a prayer service, it's just.
He's not doing food, he's not doing activities, he's just gonna congregate and he's gonna do some prayer.
Yeah, it's a church, so I don't know.
I don't even know if you have to do it.
No, yeah, it's just a simple thing, he does a mass kind of thing.
Yeah, Yeah, as long as the COVID says that many people can come.
Well, that's what I said, depending on the COVID, that's what, I'm complying with social distancing, so. Is everybody okay with that, depending on the virus? Okay. I will let him know.
Terry,
Yes,
I put the park down for September the 5th and it's closed off. Can you make sure that you can reopen it?
I'll cancel that, and then I'll put in for
And
October
schedule-
10th, for temporary until we see what's going on, and I said I also will generate that letter as well, yes. Yep, not a problem. Okay, next is, we had our maintenance done on the air conditioning units, and they had found that the unit above the police station, which is a backup unit, is not working. And there's an option to repair it. We have gotten 2 different quotes from 2 different companies for comparison, and then the fire department as well. They have an air conditioning unit in their back room that is basically, they're not going to be able to get the Freon for it anymore. I guess they're going to be discontinuing that specific type. So I met with Sonny and had given him the quotes for the replacement, and for both units, it's $3,985 for each unit to get them replaced. And these will be new paid air conditioning units.
This is what I try to explain when I said before, we don't have the money for this, we don't have the money for that. We need to have backlog for things that come up in an emergency. And when I said about the siren, when I said about the plexiglass down in the police station, these were things that we really didn't need to do. But with the air conditioning unit, with the 91-degree days and the way that the summer is going so far, we need to get that air conditioning unit fixed.
Is there any money in maintenance for this?
For the building?
Yeah.
Yes.
How much is that?
3,000 for heating and air conditioning.
Right.
3,000?
Now, is one to replace the air conditioner or replace the
It's
compressor?
replaced because they can no longer get the Freon to
Because one
recharge.
is 2,500,
Well, then
replace the
that's just the
compressor.
compressor. That's just, right,
To
just the
replace the whole
window pipe.
unit is 39.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
And there's
So the fire
4,000
department and the
capital outlay in
police.
general.
That's, you're talking about replacing the whole unit?
Yes, we
There's
can have- yes, yes.
4,000 capital outlay in general.
Right.
for the government.
So in basics, you have 3,000
Instead of replacing it for
in the
25.
budget?
Yes.
Which is 325.
And then there's also the capital outlay.
That's why I said we need to
So
have
we're only looking about
emergencies.
$4,000. You're only looking at about $4,000 then, if I understand Terry.
Wait, there's capital outlay money too.
For
I'm
each
sorry?
unit,
For each unit.
No, see,
$3,985 per unit, I
eventually,
agree.
they're not
Yes.
gonna produce
However,
the
didn't
gas
you
that
say
they
it was
recharge
$3,000
those. I was at Deb the
budgeted
other
for
day
already?
for my air
heating and air
conditioning.
conditioning, there's a line item.
And the air conditioning that I have right now,
And now you
they
have-
can
yeah.
come and repair temporarily, but once that air conditioning goes, they can no longer get that gas to redo that. If they don't
No,
market it,
can't
they
get
don't
that.
make it. So
Can't get it.
I will eventually have to have a total air conditioning replacement, just because
But
it's
the gas
paid.
that goes in
So
the old ones, you
we're
can't
only
get it.
putting little Band-Aids on it,
Or
so
whatever,
it's eventually gonna
RNA
cost you a repair and then a replacement.
$4,000 for capital outlay,
Okay.
and then.
So in other words, this is only gonna cost you $4,900.
Wait, hold 1 second. Terry, in the budget, you have the money to do this.
Right.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure you guys, like, you have budget, you have it budgeted to do these things.
But if I understand right, and correct me, you got $3,000 already set aside for the maintenance of it,
We have
correct?
$7,000 already set aside.
Oh, you got $7,000 set aside. Okay, I was gonna say, it's only gonna cost us for both units, $4,900.
One unit. It's
One
each-
unit is $3,985.
Right,
But before you made mention that you got $3,000 set aside for it.
right.
So that takes away $3,000 off of the $7,900. So now you got the whole $7,000 for
You
it.
got $7,000, it's gonna cost
So
you
then
about
you're only looking at
$900.
$970 for both units.
Yep, there was
That's a
total
gimme.
replacement, right?
That's a
Yes.
gimme.
It's new,
You already budgeted for it. Beautiful.
yes.
So we're clear.
Yes.
Both units is gonna cost $970.
Yes. Right. If they would just replace the compressor for the police station, and then they would also add the R22, it would be $2,500 just for the part. But they offered us a new unit at $3,900, so that's why we, Sunny, we decided it would make better sense, because that unit is from the original when the building was put on. So, and it is a backup unit, I mean, they do do have some air conditioning down there, but it doesn't get as cold as it is in here and upstairs. So,
It's gonna help you with your budgeting next year too, knowing you have brand new
efficiency,
units.
yep, efficiency, I agree on that one.
Efficiency
Yep.
on your cost for the buildings.
Yes. I'll have that on the agenda for next week to approve that.
Yes.
Okay. All right, next, we talked last meeting as well about the dump truck for the street department. Met with Mike and Sonny yesterday, and then Ed Burkett was involved as well. And Mike had gotten several quotes from different trucks, and Ed Burkett and Sonny agreed on getting a Ford F-550 at a total cost of $82,704. And we do, I got financing for two options of a lease to 5-year payment of $1,587.85, or a 7-year term at $1,164.91 at 3.69 interest. So this is a lease to own. Ed, you want to elaborate on anything, or?
Right now, we still have, it's in the budget already, capital outlay, equipment for streets. We have roughly 23,000 left over. So for our maintenance, we've already used 15,000, so we'll be cutting down on maintenance expense once we do
So
that.
we have the money for that, to go ahead and do it, we need it, they need the truck, can't continue repairing.
Throw it up to the 58, that way we can come sooner and save on interest. Yeah.
Would you want to just maybe do the lower payment, and if we have the extra money when it's our prime revenue time, then maybe pay extra?
Yeah, we can do that.
And then just in case it's tight, like we're in a situation like right now, I mean, that way it doesn't make us too
That could work.
scarce with, payments. So, I mean, the interest is the same, but it's a little longer term.
You're talking about going 7 years instead of 5?
Yes, because the payment's $300 lower a month. So,
But you can have this reviewed, correct me if I'm wrong, council can have this reviewed monthly whenever we look like you're running good, you can pay extra on it and still pay off 5 years, correct?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, there's no early termination fee or anything.
Yeah, I think that's your best idea, I think.
Don't even have to be that much, you can $5, and I don't think a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're the principal.
Because anything you pay over that goes right to the person.
And this company is the same one that we used through the street sweeper, and she waived all the fees. And she said that there would be no issue, so.
So we're gonna go with the 7-year term, is that what you're saying?
What's that?
So we're gonna go with the 7-year term, is that what you want?
Yes, and then when we have the extra money, we can pay more towards it to get it paid down sooner.
So this is for,
It's gonna take them
how many trucks?
2 months to build up, to get the bid and everything.
There was $90 lower.
Trucks on the ground, they can do the rest of
Yeah,
it.
Now, I just want to make sure everyone's clear, this is for one truck, 7 years,
yeah.
and you'll review it monthly to see if you can pay more.
Correct.
You have how much money in the capital outlay?
23,000 left over.
Wonderful.
So there is one on the ground right now, so it's not like it has to be ordered.
Thank God.
So this is what, kind of another bonus, they were the cheapest, and it's on the ground, so we don't have to wait several months, and Mike would have it before winter, which was his biggest concern.
We won't
So,
come from Texas,
no.
we'll pay it for that.
right, so, that it would be here probably around September, and that way our payment probably wouldn't be due, so that we could take us the end of the year, so.
And be here just in time for snow season.
And how about that truck that he showed pictures of, it's got holes
That's
in the
repaired.
floors and everything else?
They got
Can they repair that?
Yes, yep,
Good.
yep.
Councilman Parquet, is there any vehicles that they're thinking about replacing, like getting rid of completely, or are we still?
I'd have to sit down and I can discuss that with him. We'd have to evaluate the ones that we have now and see which ones that work.
Were there any other trucks that were as bad as this one that we're replacing right
That
now?
was the worst one. I told him to get the pictures of the worst one. and bring it in.
Just bringing it up, I know all council wants to say this, but I'm going to say it openly. I would just want to make sure that the safety of the vehicles is good, period. Like, we don't have guys riding around in trucks thinking, we'll just get by with this. If it's unsafe, we can't do it.
Well,
I don't think Mike's gonna let that
Well,
happen.
number one, don't the trucks gotta be inspected?
Yes.
Well, they're not gonna inspect the truck if it ain't safe.
Yeah, but he brought us pictures with one without a floor in it.
Yeah, but it wasn't in use.
It wasn't in use at the time.
No, it wasn't in use.
Okay, I just want to, that's, just what I want to make clear. Same thing you guys are saying.
If somebody got hurt in that, and
Yeah,
you're.
We'll have to get to that flooring.
They're probably counsel.
But you really can't have any of them go down right now.
No,
He needs them all.
but eventually, we're
Even
gonna
if he
have,
gets the new one, he still needs it.
Yeah, that's what I said, start reviewing what's next.
He said he had to get for the one floor, he can, they can fix that. It's a bit of a repair and forever.
I guess, I'm talking to Mike, we're gonna have to start replacing just about everything we have, because the years on it, I think the newest one we have is like a 2006.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got
I think the oldest one is the 98.
Yeah, 98. I think we got an 85 in there too.
They've done a wonderful job, Frankenstein everything together, it's time.
Exactly. So you're gonna have to replace, every time we get a little bit, we're gonna have to replace it with something else.
Exactly.
You know, and if we could get 20, we could get as many years out of the stuff that we replace it with,
Yeah.
as, you know what I mean, we'll be doing a good job.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, I know a lot of times they bring up, you raised taxes, you did that. You got a new street sweeper, you're gonna have a new truck. We're outfitting new police cars. There's a difference from all this. You're using money wisely, I think it's great.
Yeah, but we wanna get into the thing of using money, using it wisely, and not raising taxes.
Right, but I
That's
mean,
what we wanna get into.
you just, like you guys just said, it's been pushed back so long. I don't know how you could have done it without it.
Exactly.
All right, next thing is, there's been some issues with parking issues and people almost getting hits on Morelda Avenue coming off of 10th. Am I correct, Sid? Okay, and then going up the hill, people almost get
Bad,
hit.
bad.
Yes,
You come on 10th Street, you come around the bend, you get on Morelda, you're parking on the right-hand side of the road. On the right-hand side, there's two people that are parking on the right-hand side of the road. If you're coming down Morelda, down the hill, and you come into the dip, you can't see the car coming up the other way. So now you got head on. Because
Just put it
even
in
if
parking.
they park on the right side, at least when you come around the bend, you can see the vehicle coming down the hill. He's on the right side.
Are there no parking signs up there?
not yet.
What?
Can you?
That's what you,
No.
So why
that's what
don't you
you,
put up no parking signs and eliminate the
Is that
problem?
is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, that's
No
what we're-
parking
yeah.
signs?
Yeah, that's right around that bend there where my Frank used to live.
Just say there's
There's
parking.
no parking.
And then at the top of the hill, they're parking on the right side, in that little bend, the people are coming down Gilmore, and that car is parked there, and the car's coming up Morelda, you get another collision.
So
You need two signs.
So are
so
there
you
new
put up no
people?
parking signs.
Is this new people that moved in?
Huh?
Or is it new people that moved into these areas?
yeah, I think so, I don't.
Is that what it is?
They
It's
never
not
had issues
familiar?
before.
Sonny,
Yeah, we've added cars to the
Sonny,
area.
are these people that just moved into the area?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what she's asking.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear,
That's
I
all right.
didn't hear that.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
both homes are new people.
But,
Okay.
you know, whether they're new people or not, there's nothing that says you can't park it.
Right.
So
That's why you need to put up signs.
You gotta
Exactly.
put two signs there, or it's gonna be a problem.
But,
Yeah, someone's gonna
putting,
get hurt.
you know, putting the signs on there, now they're gonna have to park across the street. The weeds are 4 feet high. There's no sidewalk. You know where Frank used to live?
No, I stayed in that house quite often.
Weeds are 4 feet high.
You know what? Perhaps maybe the best thing to do too, though, is maybe send the police up there and find out what their response is, or what their thoughts are about putting a sign up there. The no parking signs that we're talking about putting up there,
Yeah.
perhaps maybe let the police go up there and tell us that they need no parking signs up there.
Police don't have to take, anytime, the first time
That's
you get
fine.
a head-on collision, you know you're gonna need a sign, and there's, it needs signs.
I don't disagree with needing a sign, I suggested that from the beginning.
We're gonna have to do something with the other side of the sidewalk.
All I'm saying is if I'm used to parking in front of my house, and now you're gonna make me park here, is that gonna cause a detriment? Or if you tell me I'm parking here, you're gonna put a sign up, do I have to go park half a block away from my house? That's all I'm saying.
In the back,
Yeah,
they can.
yeah, I thought that,
There
like a
were
driveway,
signs.
yeah.
You want
Wait,
to
wait,
park
wait.
on that
Yeah.
side.
Hey, wait a
I remember
minute,
Frank
wait.
parking there quite a bit, Blue Cadillac, Eldorado.
Joe and Mike.
They park there on that side.
Joe and Mike,
Which side?
He said they have a driveway, they don't park
The
it.
back, they
Yeah,
can pull
most
in
of
the
them
back.
have
Have an
driveway.
alley in the back.
So if you put no parking signs there, we're just forcing them to park in their driveway.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's,
That's better yet.
that's what I mean, if you're not adding to.
That's very interesting.
It looks like a driveway, but one person might own all that property back, I don't know whether they do or not.
Do we know if there's a paper alley there or anything, or what's?
I'll have to
Don't
look.
have any parking on either
That's what
side.
that's what I do.
Yeah.
Because if it turns into,
Yeah, we
they
can-
have a place to park, they just wish to park there.
Yeah, but you know what, though, Mayor, I think what he just said is accurate. I don't think that's, when Frank Lawson lived there, that property behind him wasn't his property. Now, I don't know that it is to the owner now, but I know when Frank owned that property, because I visited them there quite a bit. That wasn't his property back behind that house.
You mean that lot behind his yard?
Yes,
I don't think, no, that's not his.
that's what I said.
So you got three
It could be the current
But
owner.
they've been parking back there, people have been parking back there.
That's, I mean, you got three issues. Where are you gonna, you have to put a sign there because you have a safety hazard. Where are they gonna park, and are we gonna cause another safety hazard? And then is that in the back theirs? That's your three issues, right?
They can park in the back, that guy can park in the back, he can park it in his yard.
There was, I guess we could find out all those
Just two of them.
questions first. I wanted to bring up their number, Mr. Austin. Is that all you want to bring up?
What's that?
Is that all you want to bring up with that?
Yeah.
At the top of Sixth Street, where Heslip, it used to be two ways there, I believe, and now it's one way.
Sixth Street and Heslip?
Yeah.
There is no
Ella?
Sixth Street and
Ella?
Heslip.
Ella.
Come on.
No,
go to
Sixth
Ella.
Street and Ella.
Right at the top of the steps there above Raves.
That's seven.
That's
Seventh,
Seventh, sorry,
Seventh,
Seventh
yeah.
Street, the top of Seventh Street, Heslip, that's the end of Heslip right there. Right there, the resident came to me last week, and I said, I'll ask about it, because I know that area, and I can't remember, they changed something. It's either now two ways where it used to be one way, but he says the cars keep coming up around there, and they are going to clip. It's definitely gonna happen, because it's, I guess it's a wall with hedges above it, but even with the wall there, just the way that setup is, they come around
It
that
used to
bend,
be
he said
one-way
every day it's
traveling
like,
north.
yeah.
It was one way traveling north, it is now two-way.
Two ways, and now he says people come up around that bend, and he says, maybe put a stop sign or yield, so people know they've just been coming around that bend. He said, it's almost daily, he hears the,
I think it should go back to one way myself, because I got almost clipped there a couple of times in a hospital van. I pick up people right there at the top of the
there you go,
steps.
you know where exactly where it's
And
going.
people that come out that way is exactly like you said, you've got that high wall, plus the weeds, they can't see till they're halfway out on Norman Avenue.
What was the reasoning for changing it to two ways?
I have no idea.
Maybe
All
it's
I know
fine,
is,
knock down
for
the-
years, it was one way traveling north. You come down 8th Street, down Norman Avenue, and you went out Heslip towards St. Charles Church. It's always one way going out.
There was a one-way sign, I think, in St. Charles.
Well, when you get to St. Nicholas Drive, it becomes one way again.
Yeah.
But you can come down 8th Street all the way to St. Charles Church and head south.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem comes in now.
Maybe you can look at that and find out why, maybe it is supposed to be one way, like she said, the sign fell over and they didn't put it back up.
Isn't it, if you come down 8th Street, and you hit St. Charles Church, it's two ways going this way, but it's one way going this way.
That's correct.
Yeah, now the
That's
pen.
correct. And it always was,
One way.
when you come down 8th Street, then you get that division. You can continue down 8th Street or you go down Norman Avenue.
Yeah.
As you continue down Norman Avenue, when you get to Heslip, it was one way from Norman all the way to 10th Street. It always one
Yeah.
way. Now it's two-way from 8th Street to Norman. That's where the
Yeah.
problem comes in at. And that is a problem.
So I had a resident ask me about it, and maybe we can look into it and see if it doesn't cause any other detriment, if we make that little space there between Seventh, going down Heslip one way again. So he had asked about it, and I looked at it, and I said, I always thought it was one way.
It always was. I don't know what it
But it's
changed.
definitely two ways now.
Yes.
Definitely. And then, even whenever I was there, you come around that bend, you can't stay, you can't, someone's gonna get clipped, and there's kids there too, so. It was brought up to me, and I just,
Put that on the list. Okay, next is, the Donora Historical Society had sent me an email, and they would like to know if council would be okay with them. The street department was emptying out the borough garage, going through some things, and they have the Donora Webster plaque down there. And Mark had come down and met with Mike, and he looked at it, and he would like to know if council would give him permission for Mike to give it to the Donora Historical Society. He said that he would like to get it refinished. He would take it to Regal to see if there's any way they could, I guess, sandblast it possibly, and then paint it or clear it. it, and then he'd like to have that in the Historical Society on display, if council would be okay with it. And it was given to Donora Borough whenever when they floated the bridge.
We didn't even know we had it because of the garage.
Not give it to her someplace where it would be seen and,
Yeah.
I remember it.
Yeah, he said he would plan on,
Donating it.
yeah. And that's something they would, and then there was also something at St. Mary's before it's demolished. They'd like to have a cornerstone from there because they would have that as a artifact.
Give him a minute, he can grab it.
Okay. All right, everybody's okay with that?
I don't have a problem.
Okay, I'll let him know. Okay, next. I got a phone call from Martin Hope, up at Marty's. He said that it gets a little congested and busy up in that area. And he would like to purchase convex mirrors, and he would like to know if council is okay with it, and if the street department can put them on the poles again up in the area. He'd like to put one down further towards, is that Mead? And up towards, there's a resident house across from Marty's. He'd like to put it on a telephone pole there in front of his Gandar's house, just so he can view it before they're pulling out, because they almost get hit when they go to leave.
There was one there for years.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, yeah.
Yeah, there was one there for years.
First of all, we have West Bend Power to worry about. They're so adamant about nothing being on their poles, and they're giving us a hard time about the cameras being up there. They had to be a certain height. I don't want to create another problem with West Bend Power.
Maybe
by
you
putting it
get
up.
ticked.
I have no problem with it, but I'd like to know who'd be responsible if there is an accident there, being that there is a mirror there, and the street department has put up the mirror there, even though we didn't purchase it. Would the accident be somehow related to the borough?
Steve,
Charging
is
the
there
borough?
any precedents, like with the mirrors? I know there was a few of them around the barn, I know they're all gone. Is it because of the sun and stuff? or-
People
You
block
know
them
why they're all
because-
gone? Kids used to shoot them out with BB guns and 22s.
Right.
But I don't know, is that one of those things where they had accidents from sun glare or something, and they said, we're not doing it anymore, do you know of anything?
No, I've never heard of that.
I was just wondering, 'cause I know there was one there, that's where I grew up.
People put them up themselves. They bought them, they put them up themselves because they would use it when backing out of the driveway or
Yeah.
whatever. And that was okay then, but now with West Bend Power being so adamant about things have to be a certain height and they don't want all these equipment on their poles and.
Can we put a pole up?
That one up there by Marty's, Mike Roger put one up there at least 6 times.
I always
Of
remember.
course, there's no kids up there now that I know of, but they used to shoot them out with BB guns, 22s. I mean, they just break them.
Just get the streetlights out too.
Could we put a pole up for it? Would it be that big of a deal?
I don't know whether we're allowed to put it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
No?
That I don't.
I don't know if we would have like a legal issue with that or not. Steve?
That, honestly, Mayor, I couldn't tell you. To be honest with you.
Can
That-
you
Think it'd be best for you to
Can you
investigate a little bit on
I
that?
think, the best thing we should do, though, is the infrastructure's there, talk to West Penn and see if they grant us
Yeah.
permission, because they have been there in the past. And I think this is a sensible solution.
Yeah.
It's tight through there, it's very difficult to see.
As soon as you said it, I was like, it's not there anymore? I don't remember it there.
But then again, there's a lot of streets that are that way too. So we're gonna put mirrors up on all the streets.
we're not
there.
buying the mirrors.
Get in and out.
Yeah, we're not doing anything. it's
We're
just
not
what we-
buying them.
We want to make sure we're not getting somebody in trouble, that's all.
Right, by putting.
I just don't wanna create a problem with West Bend Power.
Yeah, or anybody.
So he wants to use telephone poles?
Yeah, he would like to have them up if there's
Well,
no
I
walls
would
to
say,
attach
yeah.
it to.
Better ask him.
With West Penn?
I guess we'd have to ask him.
Start there.
Okay.
Why not give him that job, and since he wants to buy it,
Yeah,
put it
he-
in,
Okay. I'll
let him call West
I
Bend
will
Power
call
and
him
find
Monday.
out.
That'll work.
And then the last thing, once again, I kind of missed the Parks and Recreation Board. Chantel Bay had provided a letter. I had 4 other people inquire about it, but I haven't received their letters yet. So I'm waiting on some more letters for that, and then I have not received anything for the Police Civil Service Commission yet. If of any interested candidates, so I'm waiting on that, so I'll have to see if I get anything for hopefully next meeting.
How about the police policy manual? Have we gotten anything back from that? Donnie Pavelko was supposed to get all the chief's words.
I have not gotten anything from them yet. No.
You know,
That was
Donnie
submitted a
did?
long time ago to the.
I'm sorry?
That was submitted a long time ago to the.
Oh, well, I'm not talking about the policies that you and Mr. Trapani submitted. I'm talking about, we had discussion about getting the police
What was
policy
existing
manual
right now?
for the purpose of pursuit, use of force, when to cop, where you put the prisoners. I mean, we don't have a police manual here. And at the last meeting we had, Mr. Pavelko was sitting back there, he said that he was gonna ask Terry for the contact name and number. Whether he did or he didn't, I have no idea. Did he ever contact you for Carl's phone number?
Not yet, I'll give it to you.
And we don't have it yet.
Hey, just
I have a sample or two that I can send you for consideration.
to bring it up too, I don't
You know,
know
well,
if
if you send it over to, I'm sorry, Mayor.
That's all right, go
If you
ahead.
send it to the union, like he did, or you did, for the other policies. They're gonna take 6 months to
It
do
doesn't come
anything, if
back.
they do anything.
That's
As
right.
opposed, we get one that's already approved by the union.
I agree with you on
Then
that.
then you got it, you know, I mean, again, I know I said East McKeesport was supposed to be East Pittsburgh. They're totally bankrupt over one lousy car chase. We should get them back in here.
Yeah, I don't know.
If I'm
Mr.
not
Solicitor,
stepping
you
on
watch the
anybody's
news?
toes, if I'm not stepping on anybody's toes, particularly Donnie's, I think I can call Carl Bailey and have one within a couple of days.
Probably check with Donnie, see if he's not so far down.
Well, we definitely need one. I mean, we got too many police departments that are being sued over bull crap.
I just watched on the news, I don't know if you saw this, Steve, it's, I can't remember if it was countywide, statewide, or it was like federal thing, they're looking into the body camera laws. That they want them issued everywhere. Did you see that?
I think that was a federal
It was
issue.
on the news.
The federal issue, and they're looking at doing it across the board. What we had prepared, is that, well, you know, I guess we don't know what they're all asking yet.
Right.
I just wanted to keep
What we propose complies with existing laws.
That's all I wanted to know, like what
Yeah.
you proposed. Because what
Unless
we
there's
did-
some type of fundamental change,
Yeah, like 6 months ago,
they're good to go.
I know it's been maybe something different now, that's all.
I have one final thing that I'd like to bring up, and that's the issue of the cats in Donora. There are so many people and so many cats running around, people not taking care of them. One neighbor of mine has an empty house around the corner from me, and he's got 6 cats inside that house. But he comes over and feeds them every day, but they get out, they run around, they do their business on everybody else's property, ruin their property, and then go back in their house. There is an ordinance, Terry, I believe, found something, might be some, I know that if you have to keep your animals under control, then cats should be referred to part of the animal group. I don't care. I have to keep my dogs under control, I have to license my dogs, I have to keep them on a leash, and I have to keep them in a fenced-in yard. I can't let them run loose. Yeah, people can let their cats run around, destroy everybody else's property, and nobody's responsible. It's not fair. I've gotten so many complaints, and I've been one that's been on this bandwagon for years now, and nothing has ever been done. It has to be enforced. We do have an ordinance.
Plus it's a state law, as you said.
Yeah, there is a state law. There has to be some way of enforcing this, because it's just, it can reach a point where people are trying to keep their properties nice and clean, and they can't because the cats are using it as kitty litter boxes and coming on front porches and doing this. You would not believe the mess I cleaned up off of my front porch last Sunday. And it was unbelievable. And there has to be a way of controlling this. People, you say anything to the neighbors and they say, well, it's not my cat that's doing it. Well, darn it, it sure as heck isn't mine.
I know Patsy's been sick, we just talked about this
He's
the
got,
other day.
he's got a cage up on my front porch now.
He's got cages everywhere.
Yeah.
And that turns into, whenever he catches them, as he was telling me, a lot of people, whenever they find their cat, it was with a $5 or $10, and they just pay and do it again.
Right, or they go out and they buy a new cat.
Yeah.
They rescue a new cat.
So that's, I don't know how you correct that.
I don't know either, but there has to be some way of taking care of it, because it's just getting out of control, especially up on the hill. needs to be reinforced somehow, and we need to do something.
Does that mean we're under new business?
No, really, we're just discussing whatever.
Several weeks ago, an insurance company was in here to evaluate our insurance policies, and I'm told that they gave you a price that can possibly save $2,000 or $3,000 a year.
No,
Not true?
No.
Okay.
no, and they have very poor ratings. I've looked them up, I've done some research, called some other municipalities, and they're not in insurance. They had a lot of issues with paying claims, and there was a short-term disability issue that their employees weren't getting their money, and they dropped them.
Very good.
So, didn't get good response. I actually just had a
That's
discussion
okay,
with
because they keep
Janie.
calling me, and I want to have an answer for them.
Well, I told him I had to wait, and I had to discuss it with Janie, because she's finance, and I said I had to see what I need to do, and after doing some research and after deep discussions, we've been with this company over 20 years, if not longer,
No
possibly.
problem, I just
So,
wanted to have an answer for
it's
them.
for our life insurance policy. So, real quick, I just want to update before we head out of here. I talked to Nathan from redevelopment. I wanted to see what the status of the deck hockey is, if we got that grant money, and he said that from what the looks of it is as of right now, $150,000 is not going to be enough to replace the deck hockey rink up there. So we're looking at other alternatives for funding as well, and he's going to get back to me on that. He's trying to get 3 other opinions. The
You stood up there and said that wasn't gonna be enough.
Exactly, exactly.
Yep.
We told them.
Yeah, so, and then McCain Avenue Park, he says that they just hired an engineer for the construction phase, and he will follow up as of right now, but COVID kind of put everything in a standstill. So, but I just want to update everybody to see where we're at with
How
that.
about that Debbie Grass? Has she ever got back to us with the second plan or the final stage of it?
Nope,
Nope, nothing.
nothing.
I mean, did Shelley ever get their final stage?
They fired it.
No, they didn't use Debbie Grass's group there. There was a delay in Charleroy on
Oh, see,
the
that's
traffic
fine.
report.
Yeah.
But it was another consultant, but it was all COVID.
Are you still having problems getting a hold of her?
Emails?
Are we still involved with the early intervention?
As far as I understand, there's a 5-year plan that they provided to us
And
that,
that was it. We got a
All
letter
it
from
does
her,
is
she's
take
done.
take
Only thing we're gonna get is that foreman guy to come down here and help us get some
Right.
grants. Yeah, she made her money, she
Now,
went.
before everybody leaves, we'd like to have a 2-minute executive session.
Are we allowed to have another one? I thought we already had 5.